Maybe somewhere along the line they wind up winning one playoff game because they got him. But don't start thinking, well, this is Lob City reunited.
Coming up Tuesday, look, while everybody continues to focus on whether or not LeBron James can catch MJ when it comes to titles, there's one chase where Jordan could actually be chasing LBJ. Trust me, you want to hear this Tuesday morning on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin on ESPN Radio.
This is Carlin on 98.7 ESPN.
Yes, it is. Holy cow. Wow. 800-919-3776. 800-919-ESPN. 4 years, $160 million, $126 million guaranteed, and $75 million in year one for Dak Prescott. In a word, holy crap. Are you kidding me? Wow. 800-919-3776. Get on the phones. We'll discuss this and many, many other things, including how this does kind of affect what's happening here at the top of the draft and the New York Jets moving forward. At Chris Carlin over on Twitter, that guy Carlin on Instagram. By all means, check it out. Get involved in the show. Also, the video stream of the show is up and running on 98.7 ESPN's Twitter handle, as well as ESPN New York's Facebook page. Dak Prescott had to get paid $75 million in year one coming off of an injury. That is, as they say, kooky talk. I get it. I understand that a lot of people feel as if Dak Prescott is absolutely a franchise quarterback. I'm one of those people. I think Dak Prescott has shown so much over the last several years that even after the injury, he deserved to get paid. Did he deserve to get paid like this? I'm sorry. No. I don't see where this value is going to be there for the Cowboys in the next few years when they are not hamstrung, when they have got their hands, their legs, their arms all tied up and basically gagged when it comes to the salary cap. How exactly are they supposed to do anything when it comes to the salary cap and trying to add teams and get better? I don't see it. This to me is Jerry Jones being Jerry Jones, and the problem with having owners who want to be general managers. You don't have people. You don't have people who are basically using their money to run a toy and to not have people understand what they're doing in place to make this happen. You know what this is? Outstanding news for the Giants fans. This is outstanding news for the rest of the NFC East. The fact that the Dallas Cowboys were willing to do this, the fact that Jerry Jones once again shows he's an absolute buffoon. I think Dak Prescott can be a fine quarterback in this league. Is he Patrick Mahomes? He is not. He is not. Is he somebody that the Cowboys could win with if they actually had money to move around? Well, yeah. The Cowboys came into this offseason with roughly $20 million in salary cap room. Well, I wonder who's getting cut now. Because as I look at it, This is an absolute clown show to hand over that amount of money. $75 million in year one. Not that that's all going to count against the cap in year one. We all know that with the $66 million signing bonus, that will get spread out over the course of the cap. But just imagine for a moment with Dak that he has an average year this coming year, and they can't get out of their own way on this contract. It's staggering that they would hand him this amount of money. I'm borderline speechless at this decision, but it just continues to show that the Cowboys, ever since they fired Jimmy Johnson, have had no concept of what they've been doing, thanks to the owner. No concept of what they've been doing for the longest time. And continue to really have no concept of what they're doing. I'll tell you what, you look at his career, he's had some good years. Don't get me wrong. He's pretty good. Dak Prescott should not be getting paid at this level. That's insulting to the other quarterbacks who have made this kind of money. Is Dak Prescott as good as Deshaun Watson? No. Is Dak Prescott as good as Patrick Mahomes? No. Is Dak Prescott as good as Tom Brady? No. Not even now. Is he as good as Aaron Rodgers? No. Would you rather have Russell Wilson to win a big game or Dak Prescott? The answer is Russell Wilson. And I get it. I understand how the pay situation works in the NFL. The next guy's going to get the most money. This is a horrible deal for the Cowboys. This is an absolutely atrocious deal for the Cowboys. What has Dak Prescott won for the Cowboys? I mean, you look at the last 20 years, how many playoff wins do they have? Like 3? 2? It's not many. It's not many at all. I'm blown away by this contract. And yet, I think a Giant fan tonight ought to be celebrating that they were buffoons enough to make this deal. Not because Prescott can't play, but primarily because it's going to prohibit them from doing a lot of other things. You know, the Chiefs already had a lot of things in place when they paid Patrick Mahomes. Do you feel like the Cowboys have a lot of things already in place? You know, they paid Zeke Elliott. I mean, you've got DeMarcus Lawrence having a cap number of $25 million this year. Amari Cooper, they paid. He's got a cap number of $22 million this year. You're taking massive hits if you wanted to do anything with a lot of these guys. Zach Martin, Tyron Smith. The Cowboys are not going to be able to do anything for a few years, and I don't know how they're going to get better. This is, I'll tell you what, if you're a Giant fan, you should be absolutely thrilled that these morons continue to do what they're doing. Wow. Off the charts. Thank you, Jerry Jones. 800-919-3776. 800-919-ESPN.
It's Carlin.
I went to this doctor, and he told me I swallowed a lot of aggression, along with a lot of pizzas. Pizzas.
On 98.7 ESPN.
Every sandwich.
You're down.
Wow.
There's a bun.
I truly can't get over that.
the Filet-O-Fish. And you can have them too.
Dive into our wild Filet-O-Fish. Now enjoy 2 Filet-O-Fish sandwiches for just $6. Price and participation may vary. Single item at regular price.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Choosing the right business school will put you on a career path where you can make a difference. At Rutgers Business School, students will find proven inroads to Wall Street, Silicon Valley, and the Big Four accounting firms, as well as starting their own business. Rutgers Business School students are provided full support to help land internships and job opportunities. Ranked in the top 15 for return on investment in the U.S., take the uncertainty out of your future and choose Rutgers Business School.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin.
Now, when you play with Blake Griffin in the lineup, you involve him in pick and pops, his game will become unlocked when you put him with Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and Kevin Durant, all who thrive in pick and roll scenarios. I think this was one of the missing pieces, and this added piece, the Brooklyn Nets are by far the favorite to win. It's over. The game is over.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. Weekday mornings at 8 a.m. on 98.7 ESPN.
Reclaim your mobility with Hearts Band Center for Hip and Knee Replacement. Hips and knees are all they do. Visit HARTZBAND Center.com.
Dealing with a dead battery? Head to AutoZone. They offer free battery services like free battery testing and free battery charging. Their free battery testing can help you know if you need a new battery or if you're in need of a fresh charge. And if you do happen to need a replacement, they've got reliable batteries starting at just $79.99. And they're the only place you can find proven tough Duralast batteries. So next time you're having battery trouble, head to AutoZone, your battery solution and America's #1 battery destination.
It's time for some straight talk. Your tax return could look different this year, but you're still going to hear a lot of noise about how to spend it. So when the big carriers tell you to splurge on the latest nonsense, just tune it out. With Straight Talk, you can get a Samsung Galaxy A51 for just $199. Plus, get the $45 unlimited talk, text, and data plan with no contract on America's best networks for up to 50% less. Tune out the nonsense and tune in to Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
Dear smart shoppers, ready, set, go. Get a great deal on a new Toyota. Get a complimentary first month's lease payment on a new 2021 Camry or Camry Hybrid with $189 a month due for 35 months thereafter with $29.99 due at signing plus taxes and fees. Save now, Toyota.
Security deposit waived on approved credit from Toyota Financial Services for Tier 1 Plus or Tier 3 customers only. Complimentary first month's payment up to $400. Customer responsible for any amount of first month's payment in excess of $400. Call 1-800-79-TOYOTA for details about costs and terms. Varies by region.
30, Carlin.
Okay.
3121.
The Max Kellerman Show.
The great Dan Graziano, ladies and gentlemen. Sam Darnold, he might turn out to be a good quarterback. I don't think he's going to be a great quarterback. What are they going to do with Darnold, and do you think they should stick with him or get rid of him?
If your evaluation of the draft quarterbacks doesn't blow you away, then your decision becomes, is what we can get for the number 2 pick more valuable to us than what we could get for Sam Darnold?
The Max Kellerman Show. Weekdays at 2 p.m. on 98.7 ESPN.
I am still trying to come up with something that is going to make some kind of sense out of this for the Cowboys. And I don't see it. And I think this is ridiculous money. And I get that quarterbacks are going to get what they're going to get. But Dak's not a top 5 quarterback in the league. Not remotely. This is just insane. King Vaughn starting us off. King Vaughn, what's going on?
Hey, you hear me, Carlin?
Oh, I hear you. Man? I know you called the other night on the network.
Yeah. Listen, man, I'm going to tell you something right now. Jerry Jones lost his goddamn mind. He got to be on angel dust or dust. How in the hell you give Dak Prescott all that much? He would have been cheaper to give him 3 years, $30 million, guaranteed. Listen, this is going to set a precedent because all these quarterbacks that are not Mahomes, not Aaron Rodgers and stuff, they're going to want the same deal. They've been with their team for like 4 years, and he coming off an injury. You don't even know how he gonna move, what he gonna be able to do. 75 mil? Nah. Well,
and listen, it's the amount that he gets handed right away is 75 mil. Let's be clear. It gets spread out over the cap, but it's still just ridiculously dumb. And, listen, you can talk about however you want. The Cowboys cap situation, and people are talking about, oh, it's going to skyrocket in 22. You know what? You don't know anything about what's going to happen anytime soon. And the Cowboys just blew up their salary cap for the next year and a half because of all the people that they were already paying. And frankly, I think anybody in the division should be absolutely thrilled. This is an organization that has won 3 playoff games in 25 years. 3 playoff games in 25 years. And this is exactly why. What an utter embarrassment this deal is. I mean, you are headed for not salary cap hell. I mean, you are going like 7th circle kind of stuff. Unbelievable. Joe in Massapequa was next. Joe, what's going on?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, so, what were the Cowboys supposed to do? Just let this guy walk?
Well, what they should have done was sign him 2 years ago. That's number one.
I know he's not a top 5 quarterback, but you got a guy who puts up 4,000 yards every year, 30 touchdowns. You don't get that off the street. Did you watch Andy Dalton play last year?
Yeah, I did. The Cowboys, here's the problem, okay?
Playoff wins is one thing. You're saying Giants fans should be doing cartwheels.
They should be.
That guy can't even run without falling on his face. Dak Prescott is
no, that's not the point. That's not the point. Look a little deeper. Giant fans should be doing cartwheels because the Cowboys aren't going to be able to do a damn thing to get better over the next few years. That's why.
I think they got a pretty good roster, honestly. Last year it sort of came down to coaching. They still have talent on defense. The line was beat up. In my opinion, they have probably the best weapons in the NFL. So, honestly, Dak Prescott, if the coach...
I'm sorry, have you ever watched the Kansas City Chiefs play?
That's their division. That's their division next year.
Have you ever watched the Kansas City Chiefs play a football game to say that they have the best weapons in the NFL? That's absurd.
They arguably the best.
No, you said, I believe they have the best weapons in the NFL. Then you screamed and yelled and told me about how bad Andy Dalton was last year. But no, really, they went 6-10 because of the coaching. Make up your mind.
Yeah, no.
Make up your mind, Joe.
Where am I wrong? I said they have talent. Where am I wrong?
No, Joe, you said Andy Dalton was atrocious, but they lost because of coaching.
Andy Dalton's horrible. Garbage.
Yeah, well, that's not coaching. That's a bad quarterback. Joe, here's the point. Your team continues to make massive mistakes that have not paid off in any way, in any significant way. Massive mistakes. And the biggest mistake was if you wanted to pay Dak, you should have paid him 2 years ago instead of putting yourself in this situation to begin with.
And you know what? They reap what they sow. But you're telling me that he doesn't deserve this money. I think you're wrong.
Joe, it's not that he doesn't deserve this money. Joe, it's not that he doesn't deserve this money. He's not at the top of the league. That's number one. He's going to get what he's going to get. But number two, given what their whole salary cap situation is, they are toast from the next couple of years. If they don't win the Super Bowl this year, they're completely screwed. You know this. You know this. Joe in Monticello, or rather John in Monticello, is next. 98.7 ESPN. John, please tell me I'm wrong. I'd like to know.
Yeah, no, you are not wrong. I'm dying over here, slow death, because I'm dying. I want to say, Dak Prescott, God bless you. But this is reminiscent. I'm a New Yorker, born and raised, 60 years old. When Patrick Ewing got that contract with the Knicks, my $8 bleacher seat went to $35. I never seen another Knick game again. When Paul Winfield, that damn George Steinbrenner, he was berserk just like that. This is reminiscent of that when Reggie Jackson and Paul Winfield. I couldn't afford to go and see another Yankee game. Can you imagine what's happening internally with the Cowboys organization? And now Zeke is worrying about his contract. And, well, if he can pay him that, and I'm doing all the work, what about me? And then you got these agents all around the world salivating right now because this guy set a new level for NFL players. It's as a fan, I'm so disappointed. No, Zach doesn't deserve that kind of money. It's disproportionate to his talent. Ray Charles could see that from where he is right now.
Listen, more than anything else right now, okay? You can structure this any way you want in your own mind, okay? You can tell me all you want about how this contract is actually going to help them in the salary cap. Folks, here's the deal with the Cowboys salary cap, okay? The franchise quarterback number was $38 million. So he's not going to count that. He's going to count like 23 against this coming year's cap. Without Dak Prescott under contract, the Cowboys only had $20 million in cap space to begin with. So they're still going to have to restructure some guys to try to make something happen. And it's called robbing Peter to pay Paul. And you are going to pay in the next couple of years for restructuring guys, for doing all these kinds of things that will really make it all about creating cap space for the now and getting beat up later. That's all it means. That's all it means. What a staggering number. So you can, you amateur capologists out there off of what you're reading, that's great. So they don't have to restructure as many this year. So let's just give you an idea. They can restructure DeMarcus Lawrence and Amari Cooper and do all those kinds of things and save some money, right? But if they do that, it's going to cost them eventually against the cap. When you restructure, you hand them all the money right away. That's basically what you do. It doesn't create cap space for 2 and 3 years down the road. It creates cap space for now. So you can restructure DeMarcus Lawrence and Amari Cooper and put yourself in a better situation that way, so they won't have to restructure 12 guys to try to win this coming season. Here's what I know. The Cowboys keep doing the same stupid things left and right. It's nothing new. It's nothing new. Spike in Jersey is next. Spike, what's going on?
You know, this, first of all, good evening. This has, remember Mattress Mac?
No.
No, okay, the guy in Houston who had the mattress store, and he bet on Houston. He gave away the mattresses. You got a free mattress if Houston won the World Series, and he did the same thing this year. He bets against himself. What I'm saying, the Mattress Mac, Jim McIndoe, you can look him up. He bet a ton of money, but he had the mattresses sold. So if the home team won, you got your mattress for free. So he bet against himself. He made a small margin. Anyway, this smells like Jerry made a lot of money in oil. That's what it smells like to me. I'm not saying he's sneaking into Vegas betting $500,000 a night until this thing takes off. But he must have made a big deal somewhere else. Listen, I understand how it works, Chris, and so do you. And you said it beautifully. Next man up gets the most until the next man. Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so who's next? And this is disproportionate allocation of the most important person on your team. So it's going to be a pyramid on the way down. Your quarterback's at the top making whatever the next number is, and then it bleeds down to your long snapper, whoever that is. I'm just giving you numbers here. That's the way it works in football. And there's something to these franchises, and there's a lot of crap going on, and these guys are making a lot of money, and they're paying who's next. He should have done 3 years ago. I don't know when he franchised him, 2 or 3 years ago. He should have paid him, but he didn't. So now he's catching up. That's all it is. One change of topic. I know these things are very, very fluid, and I know how we feel about Rutgers. You really think it's an 8th seed?
I don't know what it is right now. I think it depends on how they do in the tournament. And I appreciate the fact that people are so into it. And thanks to the call spike, I'm waiting for the name to be called. I'm superstitious that way. I think right now it's probably a 10 seed. I don't know if it's going to be up to an 8 seed or not. I think if they won a game or two, they could get even up to the 7 seed. But I don't know. I just want to see the name called next Sunday night. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. John in Freehold, New Jersey. John, what's going on?
What's going on, brother? I'm about as disgusted Cowboys fan today as I've ever been in my entire lifetime. I just want to figure out when you say Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, and they get 35+ million, if you even think of Dak Prescott in the next sentence. Not even close. 2 years ago, this guy led the league in bad throws, which is another ridiculous stat that, the analysts keep track of. But he led the league in bad throws. As an upper echelon quarterback, there's no way you're telling me that Aaron Rodgers or any of these guys are even on that list. The guy he's continued to not lead the team to playoff appearances and wins. On top of that, the season Zeke was suspended. If everyone remembers, he threw 1 touchdown in 6 games without Zeke. They had to go out and overpay for Amari Cooper to get him weapons because without somebody, he was non-existent. That's first. Second, Jerry Jones should be stripped of this team. Honestly, I'm tired of him. At 35, if I got to watch this guy for the next 100 years because he's got trillions and trillions of dollars, he's going to live forever and haunt us, I'm done with it. It's so overdone with how mismanaged and poor. This guy invests his own money into the stadium. No one cares about a team more than he does, and no one mismanages the same team worse than he does. It's absolutely incredible.
The fact that you won't go out after all this time and hire a general manager is astounding. That you can't admit to yourself that you don't know jack squadoosh about football is staggering. It's all staggering. That you continue to make these same mistakes. You're a real estate genius, an oil genius, whatever you are, that's all great. You don't know anything. You don't know anything about football.
It's Carlin.
Who buys that garbage?
On 98.7 ESPN.
With a world
You're down, Carlin.
ski capital of Park City.
Hey guys, I'm
High
just
West
stepping away
is
for
proud to
1
sponsor
sec.
the
Reading
US
something.
Okay.
And as Utah's first legal distillery since 1870, they know what it means to go off the beaten path. Pick up some trail-breaking, campfire-sipping whiskey from the West and taste for yourself. Each bottle is thoughtfully sourced, deliciously blended, and proudly made for whiskey lovers like you. Sip responsibly. Whiskey 40 to 50% alcohol by volume. High West Distillery, Park City, Utah.
Small business owners don't have the patience for nonsense, especially when it comes to their internet provider. They want the best services for the best price. Simply put, that's Spectrum Business. They give you great value, zero nonsense. Just call 833-919-2121. You'll get fast, reliable internet and phone with no contracts and no hidden fees, all for a price that could cut your bill in half. Spectrum Business. Call today, 833-919-2121.
The Jeep Celebration event is here. Hey! And right now, well-qualified returning FCA lessees get a low-mileage lease on the 2021 Jeep Renegade Latitude 4x4 for $129 a month for 36 months with $4,649 due at signing. Tax, title, license extra. No security deposit required. Call 1-888-925-JEEP for details. Requires dealer contribution at least through Ally Financial. Currently signed by 4/4/2022. Extra charge for miles over 30,000. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 3/31/2021. Jeep is a registered trademark.
When you support City Harvest, you do more than just provide hundreds of millions of pounds of food to millions of hungry New Yorkers. You feed hope for a kid up in Parkchester. You feed confidence for a first-in-her-family Queens College freshman. You feed community for folks in Canarsie Park. You feed compassion for retired Staten Island nurses who continue to serve. You feed strength for office workers in Manhattan. When you support City Harvest, you feed good. Support us at cityharvest.org.
If I learned one thing from this great game of baseball, it's that she'll humble you. You think you've got it figured out, you check the standings, and you're in last place again. I'm Eric Rubino, Fantasy Baseball GM, and I can put my team in position to win every single time, but I can't play the games, people. At least Progressive's Name Your Price tool has options based on my budget. It never lets me down, unlike my pitching staff. Amateurs!
Get options based on your budget with Progressive, even if you're not a legend in your own mind. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Introducing Fidelity Income Planning. We look at how much you've saved.
30, Carlin.
Okay.
And help you build a straightforward plan to generate income, even when you're not working. A plan that gives you the chance to grow your savings and create cash flow that lasts. Plus, you can start, stop, or adjust your plan at any time. Talk to us today so we can help you go from saving to living. Fidelity Brokerage Services, member NYSE, SIPC.
Yeah. Be humble. Sit down. Be humble. Sit down. Be humble.
Wow.
Sit down. Be humble. Sit down. Be humble. Sit down. Be humble.
Wow. Just wow. 800-919-3776. Buddha in the Bronx. What's up, baby? You're next.
Hey, what's going on, Chris? How you doing, Cat Daddy?
Good. How you doing?
All right. Listen, you know I'm not a Cowboys fan at all. I called you to get on this Dak thing, and then I wanted to give you one pro comment. But with the Dak thing, listen, as an outside person looking in, and I get it, like with Dominic Foxworth and what's the other guy's name, Spears and all of them. You know, there's an element of it. You know, Dak is a black quarterback, and a lot of guys got paid before, and you know, why is he not getting paid? But to keep it real with you, if Dak Prescott was for the Jets, I wouldn't pay him $35 million either. You know, I watched Cowboys football for a lot of years. I saw Starback in his prime. I saw Aikman in his prime. He's not either one of those guys. He might be better than Romo, all things considered, you know, with the durability and things like that. But I wouldn't spend that kind of capital on him. I got to be honest with you. Jerry Jones is not really a good, like you said, he's made some stupid decisions. And this is not like an endorsement of what he's doing. But I wouldn't do it. You know, I got to be honest about that.
I wouldn't have done this. I know that they had to get a deal with Dak done, but it really shows how stupid they were in not getting a deal done 2 years ago. More than anything, that's the biggest part of this, and that's why they're getting absolutely destroyed in this deal. Now, people keep pointing out, well, it's less against the cap this year. Yeah, you're not on the franchise tag. That's a good thing. All right, he only counts $22 million, and you only have to restructure 3 contracts to get some cap space for now. When you restructure a contract, you hand all the money to the player that they're due in the term of a signing bonus, and then over the remainder of the contract, you spread it out. So it's going to count each year against the cap. You're going to have these guys going into the future having money count against the cap because you're robbing Peter down the line to pay Paul right now. And more than anything, can we just argue this? Was Dak Prescott, not necessarily was he worth the money, but was he worth putting your team in this position for the long haul? I reached out to our guy, Mike Tannenbaum. He unfortunately does not have time for us tonight. He's absolutely swamped, as you would imagine. I'm sure he's going to be doing a lot of television. Here's what he had to say about the deal. This should have been done 2 years ago. Cowboys had no choice, as having Dak play on a 1-year deal made no sense for them long term. In other words, if you were playing him on the franchise tag again this coming year or a 1-year deal, You were obviously going to have to know what your quarterback situation was beyond that. And they were looking for Dak to hit the open market. And they wouldn't do a longer deal because they want Dak to be able to hit the open market in a few years when the real television money kicks in. That's what this is all about. The Cowboys screwed themselves. They really did. They screwed themselves. Jason in Hamburg. Jason, what's going on?
What's going on, Chris? So I don't want to be the radio police, but Jerry Jones knows football. When he said he doesn't know squat, and I'm a Giants fan, so I am celebrating this because this is a really bad move by them.
Yeah.
He just reminds me of Al Davis. Like, it's time to get out of the way, man. Time to get out of the way.
Well, but this is the point. When I say he doesn't know squat, what I mean is he is not qualified to be running his own organization. That's why you hire people.
Yeah, he must be he must have a smidge of narcissism, because why wouldn't you hire someone as another set of eyes? Because, like you said, how many playoff games? 3 in 20 years, is it?
25 years. They have won 3 playoff games, all wild card games.
That is a horrible stat to say out loud. It's just, if nobody knew football, they'd be like, no, that's not a good team at all. But every year, America's team is maybe going to be in it. Come on. Get out of the way, Jerry. Move over.
Yeah. Just get out of the way. And thanks for the call. Get out of the way. He hasn't. I mean, and listen, Dak's a huge, huge winner here. God bless him. He went and got every penny that he could. And I'm not going to hold that against him at all. You know what's going to happen with the Cowboys next year? We all know what's going to happen with the Cowboys next year. They'll win 10 games. They'll lose in the playoffs like they always do. Just absurd. It's funny. I'm borderline angry about how dumb of a deal this is, even though I can't stand the Cowboys in every way possible. But it's the utter incompetence that blows me away. That just absolutely blows me away. How many playoff games do you think the Cowboys are going to win in the next 4 years? 2? You think the Cowboys are winning a Super Bowl in the next 4 years? No shot. No shot. I'm going to put up the poll on my Twitter, @Chris Carlin. By all means, go there and vote. How many playoff games will the Cowboys win in the next 4 years? None, 2, 4, or a Super Bowl? That's what I'm going to put up there. Let's see what happens. I know what the majority of the answer is going to be. I won't even put none up there. I'll put 2 up there. It's just, wow. I can't get over the arrogance of an owner in this situation, just knowing that he completely screwed up 25 years ago and has never fixed it. Never. Anthony in Brooklyn is next. Anthony, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on? Great show as always.
Thanks, bud.
Hey, listen, I'm not a Cowboys fan, but Jerry Jones is 78 years old. He's worth $8.9 billion. I just think for him, I'm sure they tried and looked at other things about getting other quarterbacks. Nothing seemed probably reasonable or better than him. And I just figured he feels this is his best opportunity to win a Super Bowl before, he moves on. I'm sure the owners are probably, not that I'm sympathetic with the owners, but to me it reminds me of just when George Stone raised the bar on everything. But if you're Jerry Jones, you're 78, you got all this money, I don't think he cares.
I'm sure that he doesn't. I think he thinks that every year his team is positioned to go win the Super Bowl, and every year they haven't, and it's never been his fault. It's been the coaching, it's been injuries, it's been something else. At what point do you ever look in the mirror? At what point? When you get the same results. It's really amazing, but continues to happen. Continues to happen. 800-919-3776. In just moments, you'll hear that in a second. In just moments, we will have Jets breaking news. You heard me. Jets breaking news when we return.
It's Carlin.
Personally, I think we got hosed on that call.
On 98.7 ESPN.
Amazon is now hiring. You're down, Carlin.
Okay.
We are looking for team members who know that their work is important and that every package matters. Find a job that fits your life with competitive wages, reliable hours, and benefits. Let's work together, from boxing it up to sending it on its way. Every step offers a different role and schedule. So, are you ready to work together in your community? Visit Amazon.com/apply to see what's available. That's Amazon.com/apply. Amazon is an equal opportunity employer.
Hey, it's Michael K. Tune in for my show Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m., presented by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com today. See how much you could save. Conference tournaments are tipping off. Bubble teams are making their final push. Top seeds are preparing for what they hope is a long run. DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is putting new customers in the center of the action. Bet $4 on an underdog. Win $256 if they win. It's that simple. That's bet $4 on an underdog in select college basketball games, and if they win, you collect $256. The bank is open. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code EMPIRE, EMPIRE, when you sign up to turn $4 into $256 if the underdog of your choosing pulls off the upset. That's code EMPIRE, EMPIRE, for a limited time. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older, New Jersey only. New customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Choosing the right business school will put you on a career path where you can make a difference. At Rutgers Business School, students will find proven inroads to Wall Street, Silicon Valley, and the Big Four accounting firms, as well as starting their own business. Rutgers Business School students are provided full support to help land internships and job opportunities. Ranked in the top 15 for return on investment in the U.S., take the uncertainty out of your future and choose Rutgers Business School.
At Bethpage Federal Credit Union, we know your home is your safe place. With a Bethpage home equity line of credit, your home can be your happy place too. With our great rates, you can borrow against the equity in your home to pay for renovations, consolidate debt, or fund a life event.
30.
Or application fees either. To get started, visit lovebethpage.com/HELOC. Bethpage Federal Credit Union. We care about what you care about.
No closing costs for HELOCs under $500,000. Equal housing lender. Call 800-628-7070 for additional terms and conditions.
Enjoy the action at Winch Creek Bethlehem. Slots, tables, dining, and more. We're following the latest CDC guidelines for safety so you can play with peace of mind. Sign up for Winch Creek Rewards and we'll cover your first day of play with up to $1,000 slot-free play. Must be 21 years of age or older. Visit the rewards desk for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I got a condo in Manhattan. Baby girl, what's happening? You and your ass invited, so gonna get to clapping. Go pop it for a plan, pop it for me. Turn around and drop it for a plan. Drop it for me. I'll rent a beach house.
Carlin, 98.7 ESPN, 800-919-3776, 800-919-ESPN. I said it earlier, folks. That's right.
Breaking news.
Naturally, that's right when I had to sneeze. Are you kidding me? The Jets have put the franchise tag on Marcus May. The Jets have put the franchise tag on Marcus May. That is your
breaking news.
They can get a long-term deal done with Marcus before May 15th, and then if they don't, he has to sign the tag, so they'll figure it out. That number should be around 11 and change this coming year for Marcus May, but that was an expected move, and it has happened. You know, I'm reading today through Peter King's column, Football Morning in America, outstanding as it usually is, and that's why he's the best football columnist in America. And I picked up on a few things that I think we all probably take a little bit for granted in trying to figure out what lies ahead in the draft process. The amount of information that teams do not have access to this coming year for this particular draft is really amazing. Think about it for a second. Because of COVID-19, you really only have Zoom interviews. You don't get to really meet the player in person until after you draft them. You don't get to have them at your facility. You get to go to their pro day and see them throw in person once. I don't know what kind of interaction there is there, but you're not talking to them a whole lot there. It's a situation where you're hampered in not being able to see what their medical issues may be. You don't get a chance to look at their medical, you don't get your doctors to look at them medically and kind of put them through the workout other than looking through what the records say. A lot of teams don't feel good until they know that their doctors have looked at a particular player and feel great about him. So what does this mean for the Jets? Well, it's an advantage when it comes to the second overall pick. And it's only an advantage when it comes to the second overall pick if you decide that you're going to be trading it away. You know what's great so far is that nobody seems to know what the Jets are thinking, and people start to speculate that the Jets don't know what they're going to do yet when it comes to the quarterback evaluation. And maybe in this situation, it takes a lot more time, and you have to trust a lot more of what you see on tape and what you hear. You don't get access to talking to people behind the scenes. You know, these guys at pro days and scouts, you know, when they go to work out a player, they'll talk to teammates. They'll talk. I'll tell you a brief story. I had a friend who worked for a team that went to work out Marcus Mariota several years ago. He was an assistant coach on a team, and he went to Oregon with a lot of the staff members, and this team was working out Marcus Mariota. And so as he's out there throwing passes left and right, they kept him late. And his teammates from Oregon were keeping him late. Or were being kept late to catch those passes. And, you know, that's not something they had to do, but when it was all over with, after Mariota is going and showering and all that, and some of his teammates are hanging around, you know, some of the coaches and some of the staff went up to those guys and said, hey, you know what? Thanks for sticking around and doing that for us. And to a man, they all said the same thing. They're all talking about Marcus. Like, for him, we do anything. You know, you learn a lot about a character of a guy that way. We've heard Mike Tannenbaum talk before about when the Jets would send somebody to pick up a player to the airport, to and from the airport for their visit, how that player would treat the driver. The driver would end up being, you know, somebody on the staff, but they'd basically have him as a plant. It would be like a limo driver, but it wouldn't really be a limo driver. Like, how would the guy treat him? They want to know how they treat normal people who are not people who are in control of their destiny. You learn a lot about players that way. And this year, you don't get the chance to do that. So the point here is this. If you're the Jets and you're looking for a franchise quarterback, doesn't it behoove you that if you have any true questions about whether or not Zach Wilson is your guy, Justin Fields is your guy, anybody else, Trey Lance, anybody else, wouldn't it behoove you to trade back and ride the safe road with Sam Darnold for another year It's just another reason why you can let somebody else take that massive risk. Well, how are general managers ultimately graded? Ultimately, evaluated? Whether or not they were able to get the franchise quarterback and how many games the team won. But the franchise quarterback plays a big role in it. It's probably why Dave Gettleman still has his job. The Giants have, at the very least, liked what they've seen from Daniel Jones quite a bit so far. So with that in mind, there's a lot of work to be done, but they still think he's the guy. So if you're the Jets, do you want to draft a franchise quarterback when you don't have all that information? Zach Wilson, who a year ago was in a quarterback battle at BYU, ended up winning, had a brilliant year, did all the right things, looked fantastic, shooting up draft boards. That's great. But you don't have all the normal information that you would. Do you want to draft that guy just based on the fact that there's some things you don't know about him? Do you want to do that? Do you want to learn if he's medically okay through your own doctors after you draft him? Boy, that's a massive risk. That's what no combine's doing. That's what all of this is really doing and hurting teams. And if I'm trying to pick the franchise quarterback that will ultimately determine my fate, do I want to do it in a year when maybe I won't get all of the information that I normally would? See, that to me says, let's let that play out some more. Let's let that go. Let somebody else take that risk. Let somebody else overpay us. Let somebody else give us a first-round pick next year in addition to the second-round pick this year if I slide back to 5, 6, 7. Go get some playmakers. Go continue to build. Have 3 first-round picks next year if I need to go get my franchise quarterback then. Give Sam another year with actual players to work with. I think when you do all of that and you realize that your information this year is not going to be as good as it would be in other years, that would make me pause before I picked a quarterback. It truly would. 800-919-3776. Eddie in Long Island appears to be having a tough day. Eddie, how are you, my friend?
Chris, my man.
Eddie?
Right. I've been a Dallas fan since late 80s.
Who did this to you, Eddie?
Jerry Jones did it to me, Chris. Jerry Jones did it to me. Now, I'm gonna make a scenario here, and I'm gonna hang up, and then I'm gonna just hear your take on this. Is Dak Prescott a top 10 quarterback? Arguably, around. Now, you're going to give $70+ million in the first year and ruin the team for 3 to 4 years when you could have signed this guy 2 years ago and probably got him under Patrick Mahomes' contract.
Well, not probably. You absolutely would have.
Absolutely would have. But instead of, you sign Zeke Elliott, who is a great running back. You sign Cooper. Yes, Dallas has all the talent in the world, but you got a Russell Wilson out there. You have other people, and you're going to destroy the team in 1 year for the next 3 to 5.
Well,
I'm going to hang up and I'm going to hear you.
No problem, Eddie. Here's the deal. You're going to keep kicking it down the road when it comes to the cap. And right now they're over the cap. Okay? But let's for instance look at DeMarcus Lawrence, like we were talking about earlier. You restructure him, you save $12 million immediately, but that gets spread out over the next few years of the contract. You know, that money is now dead money against next year. So if you do that with a lot of players and you've got all these guys making ridiculous amounts of money, it's going to come back to bite you, especially if they get hurt, especially if somebody, what happens if you lose Amari Cooper for the year and that cap number of $22 million is giving you absolutely nothing? Like, you went out and did this to yourself. And now you're going to continue to pay for it down the road. It's an unfortunate situation, but it's one that they absolutely put themselves in. The continued incompetence of Jerry Jones is staggering. If this was done when it was supposed to be done, we wouldn't be talking about this. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Dak Prescott's not a good quarterback, not a franchise quarterback. I think he can be. I think he's put up some really good numbers in his first few years. See, a championship quarterback? I don't know that. Not without the right team around him. And you just made it a whole lot harder to put the right team around him. Carlin, 98.7 ESPN.
Spectrum Mobile is the
I'm sorry, my screen
mobile provider
froze.
in the nation.
You're down.